Hello. Okay, I guess it was a big win today for President Trump and administration, the MAGA movement. Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, case was thrown out um, due to excessive amounts of the $500 million fraud case and other issues, I suppose. The reason the judge threw it out. So I believe Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, is going to be appealing it again. But right now, it's a win-win for the Trump administration and the MAGA movement. So just looking at some of the things, it was like, well, $500 million, that's a lot of money. So yeah, I was wondering about that myself. But it was a win-win for the movement, for the administration. Donald Trump has won as of now. What did you think? Let's talk about this video clip. Let's let it play for a little bit.
A new push to end the war in Ukraine, just as Russia carries out its biggest strike in weeks.
Meantime, there's a major legal victory for President Trump today. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy live at the White House now with much more. Ben?
Today's Calvin, we're talking about nearly $500 million with Trump and his supporters calling this a big win in a ruling that is now facing an appeal. An appeals judge gave President Trump a major victory in New York, throwing out a nearly $500 million civil fraud penalty, with the panel ruling the fine was excessive and violated the Eighth Amendment. On social media, the commander-in-chief touted the win, saying, "I greatly respect the fact the court had the courage to throw out this unlawful and disgraceful decision that was hurting business all throughout New York State." It all stems from a lawsuit filed by the state's Attorney General Letitia James that accused Trump of inflating his net worth to secure better loans and insurance deals. James says her case has merit and in a statement said, "We will seek appeal to the Court of Appeals and continue to protect the rights and interests of New Yorkers." Today's decision was not unanimous and leaves Trump still liable for fraud in this case. It comes as the administration is focused on peace in Europe this week.
And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
After back-to-back meetings with Ukraine's President Zelensky and Russia's Vladimir Putin, Trump sharing this photo of him pointing the finger directly at Putin, drawing parallels with a picture of Richard Nixon pointing his finger at USSR leader Khrushchev in 1959. Writing, "This is a war that would have never happened if I were president, zero chance." Thursday, the Kremlin launched its largest strike on Ukraine in more than a month, officials say, with more than 500 drones and 40 missiles, targeting the western region of the country. The attack also struck an American-owned manufacturing company and injured at least 19 people, with a spokesperson for the company stressing they do not produce, supply, or support any military equipment.
Wow.
And one holdup for peace talks does center on security guarantees. Russia says they want to be involved, and the White House also states that it would not include U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine.
Amazing, guys. So, United States, President Trump is not getting involved with Ukraine, sending men over there to Ukraine. This historical about President Nixon, that parallel with the pointing, that was actually showing a stance of power. And previously, what you were talking about, that president showing the power, I didn't understand when I was at the tarmac in Alaska, and when the President Vladimir Putin came. That's a powerful man, but amongst President of the United States, Donald Trump, he looked it small in prevalence. Not saying Vladimir Putin is a powerful man. Don't get it wrong. I'm not talking about his position, but compared to the United States, how that's seen, President Donald Trump looked totally in control, and this is what's going on. This type of behavior. I just want to remember that moment, what happened, and how the media was saying that Trump didn't look powerful or strong, looked weak, when really that was not the case. But now, look what's happening right now. He's winning cases in legal battles. That was a legal battle that he won so far. We're moving on to the next level. The last 30 seconds of this video. Let's tell me what you think about it. Leave a comment. Subscribe below. Wow.
Janice, Calvin?
And Ben, we understand Trump will be leaving the White House behind you soon to patrol the streets of Washington with law enforcement?
Denise, you're right. In fact, Trump will see his efforts to combat crime firsthand in just a bit. He'll meet with members of the military and law enforcement. It's been about a week since the federal takeover, which has faced pushback from residents here in D.C. and also lawmakers, as we now wait for the White House to release details about the when and where it'll.
See, this is what I'm talking about. So this local news, Channel 10, says he's facing pushbacks. Yes, he was facing pushback. That's true. But look how they leave it like it was just only pushbacks. He was facing unanimous support by the Washington, D.C. residents. Overwhelming support from the D.C. residents, having troops on the ground, boots on the ground, and all the support for the Metropolitan Police in D.C. The D.C. Metropolitan Police are grateful they can hit them rough areas of 7th and 8th Ward in D.C. area, and they're out there in the 7th, 8th Ward. They show video clips, the media show video clips, then immediately go back and state that it's not being done. What's going on? The lies are just straightforward in your face. And check this out. The President of the United States will be riding through D.C. with members of the National Guards and other, his regular service, and looking at the streets of D.C., showing his support, making sure everything is clear. Come on, guys. You got to give this president his applause. You got to give him his flowers, man. He is doing great things in D.C. I cannot admit, I'm looking through the video clips all over the different news affiliates, and I'm seeing so many different areas of D.C. and listening to people talk about how it's better now that these troops and different agencies are in the city of D.C. and supporting crimes down there. Comfortable, they can walk in the streets, go to the store. This is residents saying it, not the media, not the government. This is the D.C. residents are making these statements. And I'm also hearing some residents think it's heavy-handed of having troops there. It seems to be a lot of older people, 40s and older, that's not really in the streets or causing a lot of crimes. But I got to get both sides of the coin. But it's way more, there's a massive amount of residents that are very happy that the troops are there. So without further ado, what is your opinion? Leave a message below. I just want to counter the narrative of one group is better than the other, and what's happening in D.C. is not relative to what's happening across the nation. It's not a red flag is showing how this will support other cities. These are biased media affiliates, personnel. It's not my media. I got to be honest. It might not be the media chase station. It's just the individuals that's out here working for these media conglomerates and presenting news, but having their own bias spin to it. That's why I had to correct this guy here. But nevertheless, let's finish the last couple of minutes and then a couple of seconds, and we'll move on to the next video.
Happen tonight.
Some surveys say 8 in 10 D.C. residents do not like the federal takeover. Ben, thanks a lot.
See, right there, biased news, right there. That is not true. I think it's 8 to 10 people that want. They're happy that the National Guard is there and the troops are there and the Homeland Security and FBI is there on the ground. That's something he just threw out. Show me the stat. Show me that stat. See, this is the biased individual. That's a biased individual. He didn't show no news, nothing, pull up no stats. He just made a statement. And this is what I'm trying to indicate. That's why one reason a lot of people out here in the media are showing stats. I'm telling you, go watch the media. I'm telling you, observatory analysis. Go watch the media and watch the residents and write down how many are saying that they're appreciated versus how many are saying is heavy-handed or they don't want the troops there. You'll have a large majority more people saying they're happy. So the stat he's on 8 out of 10 is not true. He haven't shown no facts, just a statement out of his mouth. So you got to watch when the media is speaking, and no one's challenged these. Nobody fact checks these news affiliates, personnel. They just made a statement. So this is the concern. What's your opinion? Leave a message below, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.